Well, I've got to say the Prime Minister was quite enthusiastic this morning. Have a look at this.
Ready to go? You bet. Born ready.
Let's bring in Shadow Attorney General Michaelia Cash now. Senator, it's good to see you. The Prime Minister said he was born ready. Are you born ready?
Oh, we are absolutely born ready, and I have to say the choice for Australians couldn't be clearer, Danica. I mean, this election is a cost of living election, and Australians need to determine who will actually be better off in governing this country. Mr Albanese promised Australians the world prior to the last election. His reality is this: he has delivered to Australians a cost of living crisis. Higher interest rates, higher food prices, higher inflation, higher energy prices. People cannot get into homes in this country. And he says this morning, trust me, under me, it will be better. Versus Peter Dutton, who has clearly articulated to the Australian people that we have a plan to get Australia back on track. It starts with a stronger economy and lower inflation. You've got to get people into affordable housing. And Peter said this morning he wants to be the Prime Minister for housing affordability and accessibility. We are guaranteeing funding for quality healthcare and Medicare. We will lower Australians' energy costs, but also, Danica, we will make Australia a safer place. So it is a clear choice for the Australian people. And last night, what you saw from Peter Dutton was a clear plan to get our country, our great country, which we all love so dearly, but has suffered so much over the last 3 years, back on track.
Look, absolutely. And as I said earlier, I mean, we're meant to be the lucky country here, but it's been 3 years of a lot of difficulties. It's not going to be easy, though, Senator. You know, the challenge for Peter Dutton to become Prime Minister with a majority is monumental. He requires a net gain of 22 seats. That's a bigger seat gain than Scott Morrison's loss back in 2022.
Yep.
How will you do this?
Well, in the first instance, as I said, we are showing to the Australian people that we have a plan to get Australia back on track. We understand that Australians are working harder than ever, but under Mr Albanese, they are not getting ahead. I mean, what does Mr Albanese offer Australians? He says, I understand you're doing it hard, and so for cost of living relief, I'm going to insult you and give you a cruel tax cut host, offering them 70 cents per day. And then the kicker is, but it doesn't start for 15 months. What does Peter Dutton say? He says, I know you're doing it tough. So what can I do to ensure that Australians are provided with immediate cost of living relief? And he says, you know, we're a big country, and Australians, we drive a lot of cars and a lot of trucks. So we will provide immediate relief by halving the cost per litre in fuel excise that Australians pay every time they go to that petrol station and they put that pump in their car. And that'll provide them with the immediate cost of living relief that they need. You're going to get cheaper petrol, 12 months in the first instance. We will then review the decision. But if you want cheaper petrol, you'll get it under Peter Dutton, immediate cost of living relief versus a cheap insult by Anthony Albanese.
And look, I agree with the Coalition's assessment of this tax cut. I mean, it's $5 a week to come into effect in 15 months' time. To try and sell that to Middle Australia, who actually need the relief now, that is a difficult sell. But I have to ask you, Senator, I mean, the reality is that the opposition still voted against a tax cut. You're a senator. Is the Senate really going to repeal a tax cut? Will it come back to haunt you?
No, we've been clear. That is our policy. And why? Because we believe there are better ways that you can provide cost of living relief to the Australian people. You don't just pay personal income tax. There are other taxes you pay, and one of those taxes is fuel excise, and Australians are out there paying it every single day at the Bowser. So we have said we are better off giving Australians tax relief via cutting in half that fuel excise that you pay per litre every time you fill up your car. So under us, that relief, it equates to around, for an average family or an average person in a car, $14 a week. Or alternatively, lots of us in Australia, let's face it, we come from multi-car families. 2 cars, $28 a week. But also, Danica, it's not just about Mum and Dad Australia who drive. This is across the economy. For any, business that has tradies, you're going to benefit. For any small business that has to actually get goods brought to them, this is whole of economy. Everybody benefits by lowering an input cost, and we believe lowering your fuel excise tax is a better way to deliver you that immediate relief. And we're going to legislate that day one of a Peter Dutton government. We're going to legislate, bring in the legislation for the cheaper petrol versus, as I said, a cruel hoax by Mr Albanese. 70 cents a day. Not everybody gets it. Pensioners don't get it. Students who don't work don't get it. 70 cents a day, $5 a week. But the kicker is 15 months you've got to wait for it.
Yeah, it's a long time when we need relief right now. I completely agree with your assessment.
Yeah.
Michaelia Cash, we have to leave it there. We look forward to catching up with you throughout the election campaign. Thank you so much for joining me on the show this evening.
Great to be with you.